Kids will be dismissed with Miss Natalie. Let's go. Go ahead. Ella. Follow Miss Natalie. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about Gracefully Broken. I'm thinking that the majority of you know what Gracefully Broken is. It's our extended nonprofit community outreach program that we have here at Antioch Covenant Church, where we serve food and we serve clothing and we do diapers and we have events and we do a whole lot of stuff. There's going to be some pictures coming up. This one was our latest one for our back to school giveaway that we have never had before. This picture was sent to me on Thursday morning from a mom that their children had already started school because they're in the Oakley, Brentwood area. And I think they're super adorable. But I call them moments when I have a moment with people who come in with Gracefully Broken. And this is a mom that recognized me and was a little bit off, shy at first because, thinking that her kids go to another district, that they weren't going to be able to come here and be able to receive what they needed. But that's not what we do at Gracefully Broken. We serve the greater Contra Costa areas. It doesn't matter if you're from Concord, we will still serve you. It doesn't matter if you're, as far out, anywhere. We will still serve you. It does not matter. But these backpacks are very important to these kids, and I got the message that said to me and said, you don't understand how much of a difference you made for their school year. See, they had started school already on Tuesday, and it wasn't until Thursday that they were able to take backpacks to their classroom, like I'm sure all the other kids got to. But these backpacks are also even more special because we had a member go out and purchase more backpacks because we had already ran out way before our time was going to be up. I think we got really low at about probably 11:30 or noon for my back to school crew that was there working that table. And I cannot thank Danica and Devlin enough for going out and picking up a lot more backpacks so that these kids can have them. And now that we know it's going to be bigger and even more needed this coming next year, we will continue to ask for donations. And they don't have to be new. They could be, that's why I sent that out. They don't have to be new. They could be gently used. But I just want you guys to understand how I know that Chong was here taking some pictures that day, and he was amazed at how many people were standing in line. And it was just a fantabulous day. It was serving, and it was helping, and it was fun, and it was something that we've never done before, and they loved it. So thank you to everybody who either donated, came and worked, set up their station. I cannot thank you enough because it helped a lot of people. I want to say we at least gave 150 backpacks out, because the small backpacks that were donated by somebody who bought them off the wish list, that box had 50 of the smaller ones that we had TK through 1st to 2nd grade use. So I would say at least 150 backpacks were given out that day, along with school supplies. So thank you. So I have, I'm trying to be pastor with his little questions. How many pounds of food did we get blessed with from Safeway in June? Who can guess? 13,547, 18,970, or 5,400 pounds of food? 18,970 pounds from Safeway. So everything that comes in from Safeway, we have to weigh. And then I have to put into an app that tracks it for the Safeway store as well as for Food Bank. And I was blown away by how much food just from Safeway. That's not including the Food Bank pickups. That's not including Bimbo bread pickups. That's not including extra Costco pickups. That's not including people who just drop off. That's solely Safeway in pounds for just 1 month. So I just thought that was amazing. And I know that it takes a lot of work and a lot of muscle and a lot of gas to go back and forth to San Ramon and Danville 2 days a week to get 3 of those stores, along with the Oakley Safeway that we get 2 weeks. There's going to be some pictures coming up. They're not in any kind of order. There's no, they're just random pictures of our food giveaway. I do not have everybody in there. If I did that, we'd be here forever. But, just to give you a little bit of a taste of what we do on Tuesdays. I love that one. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that if you're not pictured up there, it's not anything personal. It's just that I could not put them all on there, or else Mandel would be doing this forever. But before we move on to anything, I just want to say about this group of volunteers that come, and it's not even just the volunteers that come. I mean, Kalia's there. She lives in Texas, and when she was here, she was able to come out. The work that goes into what we do every Tuesday is massive, and I cannot thank the volunteers enough. If I could, I would give everybody a gift card. I would give everybody something, because I know that how much it takes from your time. I know how much it takes away from your family. I know how much time it takes away from something that you might want to be doing. But we've chosen to serve, and we've chosen to do these things, and it's a lot of work. So what you guys saw was the end result, right? You saw the fun, put it together, already done kind of thing. You're not seeing the men and the women that are getting up in trucks and sweating in heat and putting the boxes into the back of the truck and strapping it down and making sure that it's not going to fall off the freeways. And then you don't see the people that are outside weighing it and having to, now they're stock the truck from the store, now they're unstocking it to get weighed, then they're stocking it into the refrigerators or the freezers or the cupboards, and it's a lot of work, and it's one of those things where I wish I had 1,000 helpers to alleviate some of the pressure that is put on to the majority of the volunteer staff that I have. But we're doing it for a purpose. We're doing it to serve this community, and believe me, the line is getting longer. We serve the most people we have just this past month in July, and that was with skipping a week because a lot of us were on vacation. There's a lot of new people coming out here, and the struggles are real for people. And I just want you guys to understand that I see everything that you guys do, and it could be as simple as saving bags and bringing them to us, to loading 2 to 3 trucks and unloading and putting everything away. And it's a lot, but I thank all of you guys from the bottom of my heart, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. And there's stories that go along with what we do. And like I said, I call them moments. And the picture of those kids was a moment that I got to have, and I got to share it with you guys. And I'm hoping that my volunteers that are either behind the table or walking friends out to their car with the thing, I want you to experience those moments from these people, because it's going to make the hurt backs or the sweat or the frustration, it's gonna alleviate that just to hear their stories. So life can change in an instant, and what we do next is what matters. So I'm going to tell a couple of stories about some of our people that have been coming through here. And I know that on the Gracefully Broken email, you may have heard this story already, but some of you don't get that email. There was a woman that came out when we were doing an impromptu giveaway. Oh, I forgot to mention White Pony. White Pony is also another one of our deliveries that we get randomly. And we happen to get tons of strawberries. And we had some zucchini left over, and so there was no way these strawberries were going to last to the previous or to the next week. So I decided to do an impromptu giveaway of zucchini and strawberries. And a woman came out, and we had some of our regulars that have come, and she just looked lost. She looked broken. And I asked, what's going on? And she for 35 years was married. 35 years did not work because she was a stay-at-home mom. She was a housewife. And her husband decided to rekindle a relationship with a high school sweetheart and left her, moved in already with the other woman, and she didn't know what to do. She's 61 years old, has no type of work experience, didn't know how she was going to have food, didn't know how she was going to pay the water bill, and she came to us, and I sat with her for a little while, and she got some strawberries and zucchini, and I was able to go into the refrigerator and grab some other things. And when I brought them out, the tears that just streamed down this woman's face at 61 years old, who thought she was doing everything she was supposed to do. She was taking care of the house. She was taking care of the husband, the kids. She says, I thought I kept a really clean house. I thought I was making him happy. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. And life just churned in an instant for her. And I told her about Tuesdays, and it happened to be a Tuesday that the food bank was here doing interviews, and I had told them this story, and I said, I told her about Tuesday, and I really hope that she comes. And as we're walking out of the narthex, she was there, and I just gave her the biggest hug and was so happy that she came back, because I don't know if any of you have ever been in the situation where you've had to go into one of these lines. I know a few of you have. And so the vulnerability, which I'm not very good at saying that word, it's there. The embarrassment, the shame, the guilt, all these things wrapped in these people are in line. And some of them, this is something that they do. They go to a food bank, they go to multiple, this is how they get their things. And then there's other ones that truly don't know what to do. And she was one of them. And I just want you guys to know how important it is, because to see this woman from the impromptu giveaway that was so broken, did not know what to do, was not mad, but overwhelmed and hurt and sad, but not mad that her, I'm sure she was, right? Who wouldn't be? But that's not the side I got to see. And so to know that she's come multiple times, she feels comfortable here. And that's the most important part, is how we treat the people that are coming in. And realize that this isn't something that they want to do. I don't think any of them in line would truly want to do this if they didn't have to do this. But it's there for the people like her, and I keep her name anonymous because I don't like to do that. But believe me, she's real. It's not a story that I'm taking out. And she's a beautiful woman who just felt broken and was able to come here. That's just one. Then, life changes. You can lose a spouse, you can lose a child, you can lose your job, you can lose your house, you can lose your car. There's just so many things that can happen, and it's how we carry on, and how we can help them carry on. And that's where we come in. And Family Fun Day, there's a woman that we have known since the very beginning of starting our food giveaways, so close to 3 years. And she has a beautiful, beautiful child. And anyways, on Family Fun Day, she came, but she didn't have the child. Sorry. And I could tell there was something wrong. And so I went to her and I said, hey, what's going on? And I mean, this woman, usually vibrant, usually, full of life and smiles, and I had to take her into pastor's office and sit down with her, and her child got taken away from her. And she didn't know what to do. It just so happened that my niece on David's side, and she won't care that I say her name, Andrea, happened to be here at that same time. Sorry. It's a God thing. It's a God thing. And I want you guys to understand, this is why it's a God thing. He put Andrea here when this woman was here, because my niece just went through one of the worst experiences she could probably ever face in her life, with her husband, domestic violence, drug addiction, CPS, you name it. And she was able to talk to this woman and give her all this information that she needed. And it took 31 days to get her back, but she got her back 100%. And she came to show us her daughter at one of the Tuesday giveaways, and she was back. But it's how we are with these people, and how we need to be, because they're broken, and they don't stay broken. But when they're broken, they need help, and that's what we're here for. And I thank God so much, because I know that He put my niece there where she needed to be at that time. And it happens so much. But I'm very happy, and it's a praise that I put on the praise report that, the daughter is back in full custody, and we're carrying on. That mom is doing great, and yeah. Thank you, Devlin. Yeah. Yes.
I've never asked this, but I want to tell a story.
Okay.
And I'll talk fast. Thursday, I was here at the church. And when I got in the side room, there was a woman there with no pants on. Thursday. And I was even afraid to ask why. And she thought that the backpack giveaway and the clothing giveaway was Thursday. And she was in tears. And Randy went into her office, and the lady said, if I just had socks. And I swear to you, I know God sent her. Randy found the woman's socks. So that's God working. A strange woman with no pants, I'm telling you, came here on Thursday.
She had a bathing suit on. She rushed here from her job. She's a swim instructor. And she rushed here from her job on her lunch because she thought the backpack giveaway was that day. And she said, can I just go through these boxes? And I said, absolutely. You can come in and go through the clothes that are in here, whatever you need. And then she just started crying and said, I just needed one thing for my kids for back to school. And I said, okay, well, what is it? And she says, I just needed socks. And I said, okay. And I said, do they care if they're low cut, high cut? She goes, they're not going to care. And I said, all right. So I was able to go to the back room and find a 15-pack or a 15-pair pack socks. And she literally, if this woman could have done a backflip or a cartwheels out the door, she would have. My husband was here. He can attest to she was screaming, I got the socks, to nobody. Nobody was outside. She didn't have her family in the car, nothing. She was just so happy about a pack of socks. And that's where, back to my volunteers and frustration, I know that the donations that I bring in really, really can be overwhelming at times. But I don't know if you guys have stepped back into the back room lately, but you will see the tremendous work that Robbie and Doreen and Uncle Jeff and I don't know who else was here that day, but Robbie put together all the racks in the back, and they purchased me more red and yellow totes or black and yellow totes, and they're labeled, so now it's easier to go and get things. And I promise to get better at the donation thing. I really do, but it's so hard for me to say no because if I did, then would I have had that pack of socks? I don't know. A crock pot just went to somebody whose son's broke, and he has 3 children at home and separated from his wife, and he makes the meals and has the kids a lot of the time, and we had a crock pot in the back that I was able to give. So, all these things, they're small, but they're huge to these people. Okay. So, Ruth, and I reread Ruth again and again and again, because, again, I'm not a pastor. But this one really kept coming to me when I was trying to think of people who have had to make hard decisions or their life has changed instantly, and Ruth just kept coming to me. And it says, but Ruth replied, don't ask me to leave you and turn back. Wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. So I'm sure some of you know Ruth. Her husband passed away, and she was living with her mother-in-law, and they were going to be moving to a different land. And Naomi says, just go and be with your family. You don't need to stay with me, to her 2 daughters-in-laws, because they had lost both their husbands. And Ruth decided to stay. She could have easily went back with her own family to her own familiar place, but she decided to stay with Naomi and take care of her. And, a lot of times I know there's stories, she went out and she got the grain after the harvesters had come, so she would kind of be like following them. So whatever they left over, right? So I had a cousin who used to live out in the Brentwood Byron area, and there would be bell peppers out in their land, and whatever the harvesters didn't take, she was able to get, and she would call us out there because, my family makes red and green pepper jelly all the time, and that reminded me of that because, we're not taking the new, we're taking what's left behind, and Ruth did that so that they can have food and they can have supplies, and she lost her husband, she lost her other sister-in-law, decided to go back with her own family, but that was a hard decision, and what we make in our lives are really hard decisions sometimes, and it feels not so good at times, but we have to choose the way that God wants us to choose. We have to ask constantly, am I doing the things right? I ask God to guide me every single day. Multiple times a day, I sit there and I ask him to guide me. Super nervous about today. So I've been really asking him to guide me today. I'm doing a lot better than I thought, though, because I'm not crying as much. But it's really the decisions that we make. We have to sit down and we have to talk to him and we have to listen. And one of our volunteers, and her name is Ruth. She comes to us all the time with a smile on her face, no matter what she's going on in her life. And this girl has things going on, with her health and other things going on. But she comes and she serves with a smile. She serves these people who she does not know, but always has a beautiful smile on her face. And I'm so glad that I've met so many of these volunteers that, they don't come to our church, but we have a few that do now. But they're serving with us, and they've made some really hard life decisions too. But if we could just understand that He's our one constant, and even though it seems really hard at times, the things that we go through in our life, we can really depend on Him. So it's, now I'm going to talk about a gift, and I'm going to kind of me and Miss Claudia are kind of practicing this before they went on vacation. So, I want you guys to pretend that I'm in a box, okay? I didn't do a chalk outline or anything. And this is my comfort zone, okay? So a spiritual gift is given to each of us so we can help each other. That was the easiest one I could find. Because God does give each one of us gifts, and it's how we use it. But I also think we put limits on our gifts. I think that we go, okay, that's as far as I can reach. Yeah, I can't do that one very much. Yeah, no, I don't really feel comfortable with that. But if you just take a little step at a time, like honestly, I don't know, 5 years ago, I don't think I would have ever pictured myself up here, ever. I do not like speaking in front of people. It's been something that's been very hard for me. I'm not used to it, but I'm very happy to see the faces that I look out and see, because you guys are my family, and I love each and every one of you. And I look at all of you and I go, okay, I know what her gift is, I know what his gift is, and I know what their gift is. But do we really know how much more of a gift we could be giving if we actually step out of our comfort zone? And I truly ask God to guide me every single day. And I really hope that you guys would, maybe if you already do, fantastic. But maybe if you don't, if you maybe leave here today thinking about the gifts that God has given you, and go, well, am I utilizing them to what He wants? And so I have one more short story to tell you about a gift. So during one of my impromptu giveaways, because we had so much food left over one time, I stayed here till 5 o'clock. And I posted online, And a young couple comes in, and they both work for the Antioch Unified School District. One of them works for the lunch, and another one works in the office. And they are a married couple, very young, I would say 26 to 30. And she saw our post, and she saw that we had milk. She's like, yes, this is what I need milk. And she comes in, and then she saw everything else, and she's like, oh my gosh. And they just started, are you sure? Can I take this? Yes, yes, yes. And then we just started talking. And I told them about Gracefully Broken, what I used to do, all that kind of stuff, what I do now. And we were talking about God's gifts. And he says, for a very long time I was mad at God because I really wanted to be a soccer player in Barcelona. That was my goal, that was my dream, that's what I set forth to do. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it, and I was mad, and I was angry. I was taking it out on my family, because this is really what I wanted to do, and I couldn't do it. I didn't have the money to go out there. I didn't have this to go out there. And he says, so then I started going to a church in Bay Point. He goes, and that's where we've been ever since. They've been there for like 7 years. He goes, and a guy comes in to talk about missions, and they're going to Barcelona. and they need a soccer instructor for the children. I'm getting goosies right now. And I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah. He goes, so then I was like, okay, all right. You want me to use my gift of soccer and the knowledge, not to be a player in Barcelona, but to instruct children in Barcelona. He goes, and I did it. He goes, and it was the most amazing thing that I've ever done. But see, God, he gives us these gifts, and we think we're doing it, right? And then we get angry if we don't get our way at times. But then he shows up in another form. He gives us something else to do. He gives us someone else to help. He gives us someone else to serve. He gives us someone else to love. And that's where getting out of your comfort zone, no matter how hard it is, just a little bit at a time, you'll see how much more growth you will have with your faith. You'll see how much more growth we have as a church. We'll see how much more faith and growth we have as Gracefully Broken. But more importantly, just you personally, how much more growth you'll have. If you sit there and say, oh, I can't do that. No way. I can't do it. What if you're missing out on something that he really wants you to see? What if you're missing out on something that he really wants you to do? Communion. That is one thing I said no to today, because that is so important, and I did not want to mess that up. So we will be doing communion next week. But Pastor was all for me doing it, and so was Miss Claudia, and I just looked at him and I said, I'm back into that. I can't do it yet, you know. But just think about it on your drive home, or you're sitting in front of the TV and you think about what gift you guys have. Do you have the gift of serving? Do you have the gift of organizing? Do you have the gift of building? Do you have there's just so many gifts. You can Google it. I Googled it. I just didn't have the screen up there. But there's so many gifts that God gives us. And we need to use it. So I'm sorry that I'm not Pastor Ron, but I'm hoping that you guys got my message, because it's been a long time of me sitting there and making notes and looking at stories in the Bible and going back and forth and rereading them and asking the questions. And even just today, I went up to Uncle Jeff. I was like, okay, so this is when he does the prayer. Okay, yeah, okay. Because I'm never in here. I don't get to be in here. I only get to watch on TV. But it's awesome. But just know that all of my people that help me, and there's so many of you that do, even if it's not, you don't have to come here to help, bringing me bags, donating for the cause, all that kind of stuff. That's help and that's serving. But just try to step out of your comfort zone as much as you can, little by little, to see what else God has in store for you. Because in a million years, I did not picture myself here. I would still be working as a retail store manager 50 to 70 hours a week, not seeing my children, not being able to do the things that I do for the community here, unless I took that leap of faith and continued to step out of my comfort zone. So I know all of you have that. So, all right, I'm going to pray again. I don't do it like Pastor Ron. Okay. Lord, I just want to say thank you so much for what you have given to me, the gifts, and I know that I'm probably still not utilizing them 100%, and for that I am so sorry. But just continue to guide me, continue to guide the people in front of me, continue to guide the people that we serve, and show them how much love you have for them, and show them where you want them to go, who you want them to be, how you want them to be. I always say, God, guide me. Every day I say, God, guide me on what you want me to do today. Send me someone you want me to talk to. Guide me on who I serve, how I serve, when I serve, what I serve. Just be there for me, Lord. And I cannot thank you enough, God, for putting me in this position where I'm able to be with my family, where I'm able to serve your people. And Please bless all the people with me today. Let them have a wonderful week. And I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Please stand if you're able to.
This is a new song. Came out last year. It's called Amazing Grace. Go ahead, Mike.
You might have heard it before. Another verse?
Just do it.
All right.